you for joining us here on the Neutral Zone. I am Phil Milani, joined as always by my esteemed colleague, my partner in crime. Really, the best way to describe this person is my everything. It's at Aric DiLalla.
Phil, thanks for having me.
It's summertime,
Woo-hoo.
and the living is easy, Aric.
That's right.
It's nice. Kind of a little bit of a break here before the start of training camp. Just sort of relaxing. But the Broncos talk never stops.
Yeah, everybody else takes a break, Phil. We do not.
No. Yeah, I mean, when we show up to the building, there's just two cars parked.
Yep.
Yours and mine.
And
sometimes some Swanson.
Sometimes Swanson. I've offered a carpool, but
yeah,
I'm kind of against that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I like
Need
to
our space.
I like to just listen to the Neutral Zone on repeat.
Yeah.
All week long.
Right.
Just to study it, get better, you know.
Yeah.
It's sort of the same way that players. Wow. It was so ridiculous.
That'll
I couldn't
be good
even
to study. That'll be good to study moving forward.
It's like how the players study tape.
Yep.
That's how I study the Neutral Zone. I just watch it, listen to it over and over and over. Then I watch it over and over too at home.
You should study the cough button.
Yeah. This one doesn't work.
Look who it is over there.
It's at Ben Swanson. We should also mention joining us here in the studio.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in today.
Oh, I'm always here, right? So I don't think I've ever missed a Neutral Zone.
How's your nature walks been? How have they been going?
Terrific. I mean, so much rain, so all the plants look fantastic.
The vegetation is thriving.
Yep.
Saturation, the colors.
The greens.
Amazing.
It's amazing. Something to photograph while the players are not in the building.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Not that I'd be photographing that. But.
Because you'll be painting it.
Yeah.
yeah. What do you like to use in the summertime? Like watercolors?
The pastels, probably.
Pastels, yeah.
I think this episode is going to go long.
Oh, well, hopefully not. Today, we are talking about the comeback player of the year for the Broncos. Who will it be? There's a lot of options to choose from. So many injuries last year, guys. So we're going to try and pick who we think will be the comeback player of the year for the Broncos.
Love it.
And maybe one of the guys won't even be an injured guy, but just a guy who wasn't quite themselves last year. Come back. I think that's still a type of a comeback.
Of course, yeah.
You come back and you return to form.
Yep. That's a tease.
That's what we
That's
call
how you do it.
That's what we call it in the business. Before we dive into that topic, though, this is an interactive podcast. We're really here for NZ Nation. Aric, how do people listening get involved?
So many ways, Phil. One of the ways to get involved is you can leave an email at neutralzoneshow@gmail.com. We'll read it right here on the air if Ben Swanson decides to send it along. You can leave a voicemail, 707-NEUTRAL. We'll do the same thing. We'll play it here on the air. It'll be fun. We'll enjoy it. You could tweet at us or thread at us. Maybe, what's the verb, sow?
Yeah, maybe
sow some thread.
Thread, yeah.
Yeah, thread us.
I think you could thread.
Yeah.
It's like thread in the needle.
Yep. If you want to do that, at Aric DiLalla with an A, at Phil Milani with a PH.
Are you already on there?
Yeah.
Oh, I got to hop on.
You got to hop on.
Yeah, for a little. Hopefully I won't hop off, but I'll just hop on.
Yeah. You going to be Broncos Phil Milani or just Phil Milani on there?
What do you think? Maybe just at Phil Milani.
I think at Phil Milani with a PH.
Yeah, non-traditional.
Non-traditional.
Yeah.
So take a look for us there or Phil our favorite way.
This is definitely the favorite.
It's the best. You can go to the Broncos official YouTube page, scroll past any other video that doesn't start with a neutral zone, then go to the neutral zone.
And then click that.
Click that.
Subscribe.
Watch the video, the whole thing. Don't skip ahead.
No.
And then leave a comment. And we'll read it right here on the air.
There are time codes on there, but we don't suggest that you should.
No.
Yeah, I would personally would never use that.
Some people like to do 1.5 speed. I like to do 0.5 speed so it lasts even longer.
Yeah. And our voices go down real nice.
Yeah, really nice. Yeah. Oh, Ben Swan.
Yeah. When you go slow, you go real southern. I don't know why you do that, but
that's what I do.
Yeah, when it slows down, it's not just slower Aric.
Yeah,
it's all of a sudden southern Aric. Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, hey, Brian Swanson,
the oil painting.
Swanson, can we hear your low voice?
What do you mean in slow motion? Oh, how would you prefer?
How long? If you listen to 0.5, some of our episodes would be like 3 hours.
Yeah. Could be really nice.
It'd take the whole week's worth of commutes. Okay, here's a comment from Robert Young 6982. Shortest episode of all time, crying emoji. So maybe you could use the 0.5 there.
Make it last a little longer. Savor every second.
The reverse of this is from @user-TB6JT7ZJ8N. Gotta do something different with the media, please.
That sounds
That
like
sort of a shot?
sounds like a real person.
It's sort of a shot, I think.
Definitely not a
Why are the
bot.
bots coming after us? I don't think I like that. This is from @Broncos fan -PG2ZC.
Also
This
sounds
one's
real.
real.
This
Hey,
one's-
Broncos fan from Connecticut. You guys are awesome. One question: can you, Eric, and Phil tackle Javonte Williams, or would Javonte Williams win and break the tackle attempts?
This is an old George Stoya classic.
Yeah, could one of us or both of us together tackle Javonte Williams?
No.
No, because @McCookin345, the tackle would be broken before this sentence could be read. That is true.
That's true.
That's true. Not only would the tackle be broken, but we would be
We'd
broken.
be injured.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bones broken,
There's no
collarbones,
chance.
everything.
I actually think it might be worse if there were two of us trying to do it because we just would get in each other's way.
We would collide,
yeah. Yeah.
and then he would just blast through and just
Yeah.
it would hurt.
Yeah, there's no chance.
I think that if you're not around these guys like up close, I don't think you have as great of an appreciation for what sort of physical specimens they are. Like when you watch on TV, or even when you come to the game and you watch from like an elevated point of view, I don't think you appreciate
Like the press box?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but sometimes you come down to the field.
That's true. With my cocoa.
Yeah, on hot and chilly days, both.
Yeah.
You hot cocoa, but the speed and the size, I don't think you can appreciate unless you're right there.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
I couldn't tackle anybody.
No. One time I was trying to like go off the field at the same time as Aqib Talib, and he was like very slowly jogging, and I was trying to keep up with him. I was sprinting. Yeah, I was just trying to just stay with him as we were going off the field.
I went to Von Miller's Pass Rush Summit one time. Swanson was there.
Where was I there?
The one in
I don't know why you weren't
this
there.
in,
Something must have happened.
Missouri and
Something happened.
In Branson.
And Melvin Ingram was there.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I remember that.
And he needed like a fake offensive lineman to like show somebody a pass rush move, and so he had me stand there, and he was
were the
demonstrating what he would do to like shed a block, and he didn't even try to. He just touched me, just at a normal, the same way like Swanson would pick up a paintbrush, and
Gentle,
and I just like flew backwards.
delicate,
Snapped him in half.
I was like, oh my
Really?
goodness. He just
a little
tapped
bit,
me.
yeah.
And it was bad.
Did you?
I was scared.
Were you sore? You were.
It
Like,
wasn't
you were,
sore, but I was
damaged?
like, oh my goodness. This man just pushed me backwards while tapping me.
Yeah.
Imagine if he was actually trying to hurt me.
Did he try to do any of those DeMarcus Ware hand move? Swim chops, anything like that?
The cross chop?
The cross chop. That's
Yeah.
classic. Yeah, that would have.
I don't think you're on the screen.
That would have really hurt you.
Yeah. If he had got me with that.
Yeah,
There we go. Yeah.
could have been nice. At Cindy H303, peak neutral zone. Good to see you, Swanson.
Aw,
Good to see you, Swanson.
that's nice.
Yeah,
That's not a bot.
Swanson's
I
got
can't-
burners.
yeah.
no
You're
bot.
Cindy, huh? At Jeremy_1, Jokic could be a linebacker. Of course, last week we were talking about what position Jokic could play. They said linebacker.
Yeah,
What do you think
right.
about that? What do you think about that?
Does he have the open field
see that?
speed?
Of course he
A little
does.
tall for a
Of
linebacker.
course he does. He can do anything. And I think that's all the comments.
Well,
for this
nice.
week. Yeah. So I didn't even screw up anything.
Not yet.
Quick round of applause for that.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean just for the comments. Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't
You
do anything
read
crazy.
successfully.
I didn't say just one more, and then there
That's
was
true.
like 3 more. So
Good job.
I did it. Good night.
Incremental improvement.
Okay, let's just dive into our topic here. It's the most important one.
Yep.
The comeback
That's
player
first.
of the year for the Broncos. Who will it be? Eric, let's start with you.
Yeah. Well, should we discuss some of the options? I mean, typically,
Okay, yeah, let's talk about that.
typically this is an injured player, typically, that you see win an award.
Yeah, because at the end of the year, they do one for the whole league. Okay,
Yep.
we're not talking about that. We're just talking
No.
about the Broncos.
No.
Then for the Broncos, each team does like a nice little Ed Block Courage Award type of a thing, where that's like an injured player who comes back and like has thrived.
Right.
But we're just talking about comeback player of the year.
Right.
This is like a neutral zone specific type of thing.
Exactly. And, there were a lot of injured players last year. You think of Javonte Williams, Garrett Bowles, Tim Patrick, Lloyd Cushenberry, Randy Gregory,
Yeah.
Caden Stearns.
There's a lot of injuries.
A lot of guys.
Like guys who miss like significant time.
time.
Yeah. I think they would all qualify
Yeah, all those
for a
guys.
sort of a
KJ Hamler.
KJ Hamler. I believe he won the Ed Block Courage
did.
Award last year.
He did. You put it together?
I did a nice little thing for him.
that's what
there.
you do.
Yeah, that's sort of my
you do.
specialty.
Yep. So a lot of options there from an injured standpoint. And then I think the other person that is worthy of consideration, Phil,
Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson.
I believe so. I think that would qualify as last year. He missed a couple of games due to injury, but we're more talking about can he come back and return to the Hall of Fame trajectory type of player he was with the Seahawks.
And he, you look at these national lists of who's favored for national comeback player of the year. He's on a lot of those lists.
Yeah.
So certainly someone to keep in mind. Phil, when I look through it, I think I'm going to go with Tim Patrick.
Ooh.
And I, I've been high on Randy Gregory. I think there's a good chance he makes his first Pro Bowl this year. But I think Tim Patrick, the team missed him from an offensive standpoint and mentality standpoint. A sure-handed guy.
Edge.
Gives you an option on third down, gives you an option in the red zone. I don't know that he's going to have 1,000 yards or anything like that, but I think you're going to look back at the end of the season and be like, Tim Patrick had a nice year and was really important to what this team does. And, we sometimes wonder about the ACL and how do you come back from that, right? Especially as a wide receiver. Tim's game has not ever been like, he's not going to run away from you, right? And he's not making these crazy leaping catches the way that Cortland was, where he needed to kind of push off the ground and get into the air. I mean, Tim will make some of those plays, but he's just a sure-handed receiver who's going to box you out and make plays. And I
was going to say, if he doesn't jump up high and get it, and he doesn't break away from guys to get it, how does he get it?
He boxes guys out. He runs good routes.
He's physical.
Physical. I think some of those things won't necessarily take the sort of impact
from the ACL,
that like a speed guy might face, or that
certainly.
We saw Cortland try to catch those 50-50 balls.
But certainly that first year was not the same.
Like I think of Tim in the end zone running a good route and then making a play with a defender on his back.
Yeah,
I think he'll still be able to do that.
Some of those things, yeah.
And he certainly has the attitude that you need. We heard him talk to the press, and he said, "I know that the narrative is sometimes that it takes a year for you to get back," and then he
don't like that.
Used a couple swear words maybe and said,
"This is a family show."
Yeah, said, "Don't worry about that. I'm going to be back this year."
Ooh.
And so between Tim's mentality, his presence on the offense, and what you see him do from a football standpoint, I think he's going to be a guy you look back and he's going to make an impact.
Yeah. I mean, Tim Patrick is that guy who he's very sure-handed,
Yep.
like I didn't realize how many drops the Broncos had. I think it was a tweet earlier this week.
I think it was a thread.
Was it? I saw it somewhere about how many drops the Broncos had, and then Tim Patrick was going to make a big difference there because he catches everything coming his way. So I do think that's going to make a big difference. Just having like another guy that Russ feels like the pocket's collapsing a little bit. There's a guy you can go to and that you trust, and just having more of those types of players makes a big difference. And so, yeah, I definitely see Tim coming back and having a good year. I'm going to go with Russell Wilson, I think. I think that makes a lot of sense. Just because we've talked a lot about those other guys. I do think that Javonte Williams, him being out at practice was really impressive during the offseason. And by all accounts, Sean Payton certainly thinks that he's on schedule, which is really encouraging. The last episode, I talked so much about Randy Gregory. I think that he's going to have a huge year. But I think that just overall comeback player of the year, that sort of notion, I do think it's going to be Russell Wilson. I think that he's got a good shot for the national one, too, just because this team, by all accounts, should be much better. Sean Payton coming in here should change things around for him. And I also think that there's just so much going on last year. And that season that Russell Wilson had was such an abnormality that I just can't see that happening twice to him. Just the touchdown to interception ratio, I just can't see that happening again for him. And so that turnaround is going to be significant enough that it'll get a lot of attention, I think, in terms of a comeback player of the year type of thing.
Yeah, I would say the only thing that I hesitate with is that for him to win that award or to kind of
the national one,
yeah, and to garner kind of that respect from a team perspective,
you have to be in the spotlight a lot.
Well, it has to be a significant jump.
Yeah.
If he goes, I think he had 15 touchdown passes last year. If he goes to 25 or 28 or something, that probably is not enough.
Yeah, he's got to go crazy.
He's going to have to go up to 35 touchdown passes, I think, and the team win 11 games and kind of win,
really, really good.
Win a nationally televised game over Patrick Mahomes where he looks like the old Russell Wilson. I mean, those are the sorts of things he's going to have to do to get.
Who won it last year? Swanson, do you know?
1 second.
Why would he have? What are we even talking about?
Yeah, he was looking at
Gino.
That's a good pick.
He did it right back.
Yeah.
And he was, of course, not an injured guy, just a guy who had kind of fallen off
Got it.
for a while.
And was a backup for a long time.
Yeah.
So then he played pretty well last year.
Yeah.
I mean, they made the playoffs, and he earned a nice contract there. So.
But I also think you have to consider, our voters going to give Russell the benefit of the doubt if he, from a national standpoint, I think he's going to have to go out there and really earn it. And so 30 plus.
But for the Broncos, he could certainly be that guy.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. I just think that when you have people coming back from injury, there's obviously a big, the comparison is easier to make in terms of, hey, if Russ has some good games and has some bad games, his numbers might improve overall, but how much of that is is there enough
contrast?
It's a contrast.
Yeah, but I do think that he had 16 touchdowns and 11 interceptions last year. I think that's right. Yeah. There's just, I mean, if he goes up to 30 touchdowns and then the interceptions stay there or lower, I mean, that's going to be enough that nationally, I mean, he's in the conversation nationally so much, where last year he took a lot of criticism nationally, that if he does get back to playing like that, the reverse should be the same. You would think that nationally he'll just be so much into the conversation of hey, he's back. Hey, Sean Payton did this and fixed this, or hey, that was just a 1 year thing for he'll just be in that conversation so much that if the turnaround is there, I do think he'll have a chance. And the Broncos do have a few national games where he'll have an opportunity. He'll certainly have the opportunity to showcase it.
According to the betting odds, he's in the top 3 nationally.
We don't talk about betting.
No, we don't.
But thank you.
DeMar Hamlin, currently the favorite.
Good.
And then Tua and Russ are tied for second.
Tua, huh? Well, Miami is going to be really good.
Yeah.
I think Miami's going to be good.
But
and
Tua played most of the year.
Yeah, but he had those bad concussions. Yeah. If he comes back and is really good, I think he'll be in that mix too, in that conversation. But I do think that just last year, the stats alone that was just so way off the. That's such an outlier when you look at the rest of the stats from his career that it would be really surprising if that continued. But
I agree.
Enough so that a change there, I think, could earn a comeback player of the year type of thing. But
Yeah.
I do think that Javonte obviously has a chance to do it. Randy has a chance. Those are really the other two guys I think that would be in that mix to be like that big turnaround type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, Javonte, the only thing that concerns me is just you take a lot more hits.
Oh, my gosh. Coming back
It's
from that, I
physical,
couldn't imagine. The mental.
Yeah, you got to worry about cutting every time. With Tim, you can kind of pick your spots, right? Or
Yeah. It's still scary,
ease him
though.
back. Yeah, but ease him back in a little bit, that sort of thing. I think with Javonte, you're taking so many hits again and again, and a lot of them are often going to be
Around your
around
legs.
your knee.
Yeah.
So
Low.
Yeah, and then Randy, I think just can he prove he can stay out there? That's important. I would say if Garrett Bowles goes out and plays like he did in 2020, where he was a second team All Pro, I mean that's going to be difficult for guys to make it to that level. So
Yeah.
he could be another option there, but harder to quantify an offensive lineman's.
How do you feel about Garrett Bowles now? Because he's played, the last 4 years right next to Dalton Reisner. For the most part, when they were out there together. They played a lot together when Garrett was healthy. How do you think that Ben Powers is going to come in and be able to? What do you think that dynamic's going to be like?
I think it'll help Garrett. I mean, good football players around you is always helpful, and I do think Ben Powers is probably an upgrade there at guard. Listen, Garrett has a chance to be really good, and it's going to be about team statistics. Can you keep Russ upright?
Yeah, of course.
As we have seen from Garrett, he's got something to prove after last year because he went out there and said Russell's not going to get hit,
Yeah.
and then he got sacked a lot.
Yeah, but I just think like any position, like those two, like the two offensive linemen that play right next to each other, that's like a special bond, and so like that chemistry, that relationship, that's got to be really strong there. And I do think that a guy like Ben Powers, that could be a really strong side there for the Broncos.
Yeah.
The O-line, if they stay healthy, on paper should be really good. You would think.
You would think so.
You would think on paper they look pretty good there. So I'm saying, who you gonna take somebody?
I kind of like the Randy Gregory pick.
Yeah. You're just gonna copy what I said last week, probably, huh? Frank Clark. How about Frank Clark coming in? That's gonna help him.
Sure.
Scoring a lot of points is gonna help him.
Fine, I guess I have nothing else to add.
You
All
add.
right.
Please,
yeah, just
I'm
please
just
see
kidding.
previous week's podcast.
I'm just razzing you. Go ahead. You think?
I don't
Randy?
know. I just think that the offense produces a little bit more. The secondary is really good, and that'll give him time to play well, and I think he will. So,
What was the question?
The secondary, that is a good point, Swanson. I do think that when you think, how they play off of each other, if Surtain's doing his thing back there, the safeties are just legit. Damari Mathis.
Maybe Surtain will be so good that he's comeback player of the year because it'll look like last year wasn't even good.
Wasn't even a thing.
Yeah.
Wow. Is that possible, do you think?
Tune in next week.
Another little teaser there, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're taking Tim Patrick.
Timothy.
I'm taking Russell Wilson.
Timothy.
And Swanson, you're taking Randy Gregory.
yeah.
Okay, we'll have to see how it goes.
Well,
We'll remember this episode.
will.
We're going to remember this one. Okay, anything else you guys want to say? Any shout-outs to get to here?
oh, we're doing the shout-outs, huh? Phil, I'd like to shout out you. You did some carpentry work over the weekend.
I did. I put on my construction hat.
Yep.
Yeah, I swapped out the microphone for a hammer. And I went to work. Yeah,
Went to
I did
work.
some work on my house. Big project over the 4th of July. Sort
work.
of some fireworks over at my house. We had the power tools up and running. And, it was a good weekend, a successful weekend.
Congrats to
a lot
you for
accomplished.
making it out of there
Yeah.
alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody got hurt, and my wife was happy. So that's
Did you
Win-win.
it's a win-win.
you record like a YouTube like how to?
No,
Take
I should
down-
have done that, huh? I could have
Well,
put.
how
out-
are you going to help other people?
That's true. That is true. We did a little demo work. It was good. Everything was good. So, All right. Of course, Liz
Liz
Gerald's.
Gerald's, of course.
We're going to shout out community impact.
Really nice.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
There's some players having some camps this weekend.
A lot of camps.
Hats are tan and Javonte Williams. You'll be hanging out.
You are?
You're going to be there, right, Aric?
Oh, if it's happening, I'll be there.
Okay, got it. Yeah. Swanson, are you going to be there?
I'll see you there.
Yeah. Because I know I'm going to be there.
Yeah.
If
Kareem Jackson, Justin Simmons, are you going to be there?
If two guys like at this level, like a Surtain and a Javonte, if they're going to be doing something, I'm going to be there.
Perfect.
That's just sort of how it works.
That's how you work.
That's how if it's happening, I'm there. I'm there. So it's just sort of, that's what it takes to be an R. That's just sort of a dedication, like, I'm like, what day is that? It's Sunday. I don't care. What time of year is it? It's July. It's the summertime. I don't care.
I'll be there.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
That's just sort of, that's what it takes.
Hey, that's why we
Dedication.
admire you. Yep.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I think that's going to do it for this week. We'll be back again next Thursday because there's no days off.
Nope.
That's just sort of the way this podcast works. For Ben Swanson and Aric DiLalla, I am Phil Milani. You've been listening to
The Neutrals.